On this episode of AC Designs Garage, I'm going to show you the top 5 things you need to get started MIG welding. But let's be honest, folks, you're not going to stop there. I'm still buying stuff, but this will get you welding. So let's get at it. Alright guys, one of the first things you're going to need to get MIG welding is a MIG welder. It's a cool little machine that Yes Welder sent me a good while back. I did a full review video and stuff on it, and I'll link that below so you can see more of the basics I went over and showed it welding and stuff. Pretty impressive little machine to be sub $800 machine. It'll do flux core, it'll do shielded gas. It's a 110, 220 dual voltage, 205 amp machine. I dig it, and it only weighs like 25, 30 pounds or something, so if you need to carry or transport it like that, super convenient. But I will suggest this thing will run flux core or that. If you don't know what it is, flux core is like they don't have a shielding gas. It's kind of like a MIG welding stick welder, if you want to call it that. So they have the wire on the outside and the flux. It's a hollow wire with the flux on the inside. It does pretty good. I mean, for the right application. I do more body shop type and hot rod fabrication, chassis fab stuff. So this works really great for a good all-around machine. I put a link below. I have to be a coupon code on there. I'll put it down there too where you can scoop one up. And this is an affiliate, so I do make like a very little bit off of it if you guys buy one, but it don't cost you guys any more. I just wanted to put that out there so you know. But I do like this machine. I've used it a good bit, but I will say if you're going to do anything under 1/8 inch, like any sheet metal work, anything like that, spend the extra money and get you a bottle of 75-25 argon carbon dioxide. And I think this machine comes with a regulator. I'm pretty sure it does. It comes with one of these regulators, but get you a bottle of gas. It makes life a whole lot easier, makes the learning curve a whole lot easier. Now, there's nothing wrong with flux core. If that's what you got to start with and that's all you got, hey, start burning wire. That's what it's about, is this time under the hood. But my personal experience and some of my friends and stuff that started welding, they really get disgusted with the flux core because it is tougher to weld thin stuff. You get on up thicker stuff, it's probably easier. I don't do a lot of it, but I suggest a bottle of gas. You don't have to get a big bottle. You can get the smaller bottles if you're not doing a lot of welding. But yeah, number 1. All right, guys, next on number 2, welding hoods. These are very important. If they're not comfortable, you're not going to wear it. And this little thing here is not a welding hood. So don't do that. I've been known to do it too, but try your best. Don't do the closed eyes thingy. You'll burn your eyes and you only got one set of eyes. So take care of them. Get you a decent hood. If you wear glasses like I do, if you notice every one of my shields are the big openings. If you have bifocals or anything, you can do it with the little ones if that's what you can afford. I mean, to get welding, get welding. That's all I can say. The bigger makes it a little easier to see. These hoods here range from probably $350, $300 down to this one here. I just replaced the lens in. It's one of the True Arc drop-ins. It's adjustable. It's really cool. It's got that clear technology, so before you strike the arc, you can see it really good. That's a good lens. If you already have a good hood that you like, just change out the lens. I put a link to these below too. It works really good. I do a lot of my arc shots with this one. I'll put my cell phone in this hood. But the reason I changed this, it had one of the lens. I'll give you a little tip here. The lens that just runs off of I guess the UV or something, it just keeps it charged. You can't replace the battery. Just remember, when they go bad, you got to chunk them. So I was stuck with, this is really my favorite hood because it's super light. This thing weighs nothing. This Miller is like the ultimate, but it's pretty heavy and it'll work on your neck. So get the lightest, best hood you can. Now this Vulcan here, pretty sure Harbor Freight carries them. I think you can get them at Northern too. But this is a really good one too. It's got the big lens. It's got all kind of different settings. All of these have the grind mode, so you don't have to have a grinding shield. I usually use a grinding shield, but these here you can turn off and use them as a grinding shield and a welding hood, so save you a little bit of money there. But check out what this one will do. Now this didn't come from Vulcan. This is an add-on. Booyah! Look at that. This is an add-on light here from Aluma Weld. I linked them too. It's a really cool, it adds on here. It's easy to add in. All you have to do is cut a little hole and it just bolts together. On their website, they tell you what hoods are compatible, but most of them are. But it just fits up here nicely. You just add your little knob on the side and Works good. You get in dark places, and the cool thing, it's got a technology that the light actually cuts off when you start welding to save battery, and then when you stop welding, it comes back on so you can see where you're at. So really cool. I'll link these in the description below too. But this Vulcan hood's a really good hood, I think. It's got a lot of good, you can see through it real clear and stuff, but got a good headband and stuff in it, but that's a good one also. The Miller here I really like. Now this is an older one here, but it's all digital. It has all kind of functions in it. I think it'll order you a cheeseburger if you want it to, but I really like it too. But this is a heavier shield here, but it's real heavy duty. You can do it construction grade, I guess, with it, but they got replacements. That's the big thing. Make sure you can buy replacement stuff for them. But I link all these in there. Like I said, this Miller's a pretty good one too, but I like this lightweight one here. I've been using it for years. And last but not least, it's old Christopher Columbus here. Fixed shade lens. Hey guys, there's nothing wrong with the fixed shade lens. I had a lot of the pipe welders and stuff get mad at me because I picked on them, but they do work great. They're good. I think for a beginner, if you can squeeze the money out to do it, get you a quick change, especially if you're going to be doing any rust repair or anything like that on cars where you're just zap, 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 zap constantly like that, so you ain't got to lift your shield up 10,000 times. But there ain't nothing wrong with the fixed lens shield. If you're burning stick or, you know, TIG welding pipe or whatever, or, yeah, they're fine too. Don't get mad at me. All right, guys, let's get to number 3, and that'll be fall under the PPE, at least skin protection. You need that. Wear gloves. Don't do like I do. Some of my videos y'all called me out on, but I get slack and stuff and just start welding without them. But you need to weld them, especially on sheet metal stuff. I'm bad at that, and I need to quit that because it's not good for your skin. UV rays, getting burned up and cuts and stuff all the time. So this is what I use. I don't use one pair of gloves, so I'm not going to say you need this one or whatever. I base mine off of like amperage, how hot I'm welding. Like if I'm burning in some 1/4 inch plate or something, really got it crunk, I'm going to use the big old puppet hand gloves, aka stick welding, MIG welding gloves. These things, it's hard to grab. I don't like them, but when I'm down there burning, weld really hot, this helps protect the backside of your hand. So sometimes I'll just wear the hand that I'm just welding with on it and just use the regular glove on the other hand. But you can't just buy one, so get you a pair of these, the stick MIG gloves like this. You'll need them. Next ones I use most of the time is these Mechanics fabricator gloves. They're double stitched and everything. I think they got the Kevlar stitching where they'll hold up good. And I like to have the Velcro around your wrist to pull it down tight. I use these for TIG, MIG, and everything a lot. Less, like I said, I'm on higher amperage because these on the back, they feel like a suede or something on the back, but they're not as, they don't protect the backside of your hand from heat as much, but these are really good. Or the Tillmans, you can tell I've used the mess out of these TIG welding and stuff in. I'll MIG weld with them too. Like I said, just depends on the amperage. Low amp stuff, I'll use this, but you start getting into higher stuff, I'm gonna put this one on my weld hand. The next thing is you need one of these awesome American hats, welding hats. You need that for, I use that for grinding and everything because stuff falls down, you just don't want to burn your head up. Get you one of these, they're cheap. And these sleeves, which I'm fixing to order some stuff from Defiant Metal. I think it's Defiant Welding. I'll link it below. But he's out of North Carolina, so I support my North Carolina guys, but he's got some bad welding gloves. Bad as in super rad. So I'm gonna order me some of that. I just didn't have them for now, but I am gonna buy the gloves and the sleeves probably from him. So I'm gonna go ahead and link them even though I ain't got them, but trust me, a lot of guys that I look up to welding and stuff use this stuff and they say it's really good. So I'm gonna stick with guys that use it. So you do what you want to, but I'll link them down here. I think it's Defiant Welding or Defiant Gloves or something. I don't know. I'll link it down there for you. But these sleeves are really nice, especially summertime. When it's really hot, you ain't got to wear a big old leather coat. I've got one right here. You won't get burned up in them, but you'll burn up in them, if that makes any sense. But I like these sleeves here because they're a lot cooler. And they work great. And they're lightweight. And when it's 100 degrees, if you can shed a little bit of articles of clothing there so you ain't getting burned up, that's the best way to do it instead of going short sleeves where you really get sunburnt. All right, that's it for the PPE on to number 4. Alright guys, number 4 thing you're going to need is an assortment of pliers and C-clamps. C-clamps are very important. I use them all the time. I use them from anything. A lot of times you'll need the prop a lot of times, like I said, because of the heat you're welding. You can clamp this to the piece you're welding to and use it for a prop. Use the whole piece together, clamp stuff together, keep it from moving. Especially if you're doing tubing, you want some heavier duty ones. I would source some American made ones and a lot of the older ones. This is a right here. But we go to estate sales and swap meets and stuff and scoop up all these American made ones are the best if you can catch the old ones. They work really good. Good different types of vice grips. You can get these in different lengths. Like if you have a sheet metal panel, you need to reach way in the clamp. These work really good. Also work good for propping. The main one you're gonna need, as I said, I call them MIG pliers. I would own these if I didn't even have MIG welder. If I was just TIG welding, these things work great for cutting your wire. This cleans out your nozzle on your MIG gun. Grab stuff, bend wire with it, clip it off, tighten your nozzles, take your nozzles off. I mean, just very well-rounded. Good things to have, good tool to have in your arsenal. I'll link all this stuff I can down there where y'all can scoop it up. So now we're gonna go to number 5, but I am gonna have a couple little bonus things that you probably need to get, but it just don't sound as good top 6 things, so we'll do it top 5. But anywho, let's get to the next one. All right, guys, tool number 5. You definitely need electric grinder. This would be one of the first tools next to the welder. I don't know that I wouldn't buy this before the welder, but a good heavy-duty electric grinder. You can put cutoff wheels on them. You can put the flat wheels, rock wheel, whatever you want. This will do what you need. Also nice to have is the good air power ones. We use these a whole lot for getting tight areas with them, and you can buy these little changeable roll-lock disc out to use the different grits. Really nice. I use them both. I mainly use this for the more heavier stuff if I'm radiusing something or if I'm going to grind a weld down. I say get both of these if you can. If you can't, get this one first. And now for the extra stuff that you don't have to have, but just makes life a lot easier. All right, guys, bonus round. This is one thing I think you need. I use for TIG welding, I use for MIG welding, I use for everything. And that is, I guess you would call it a MIG welding gun holder. That way you can just don't throw your gun down. These are nice to have. I put my TIG torch and everything in it. You can hang anything on it you want to, but they got the magnets on the bottom. Stick anywhere. You may have to bend these and modify them to your gun specs, but they're pretty reasonable. I'll link some of these below, but this is a bonus thing I think you need. And also, for the best thing that you really need, I mean really need from MIG welding, you can't MIG weld without it. It's coming up next. All right, guys, we're down to the most important tool that every welder, every fabricator on this planet needs, and you can't do it without it. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. It's one of these t-shirts. Check it out. Just kidding, guys, but I really appreciate all the support you guys that's buying shirts and stuff. And if you want to scoop you up one of these rad Death Before Electric hot rod t-shirts, head on over to www.acdesignsgarage.com and scoop you one up, because remember, you can't fabricate or weld without one. Alright, guys, hope y'all enjoyed that little video on what I consider the essential tools of like a beginning MIG welder. You guys drop in the comments below some of the stuff that you think maybe you need to add, but you don't have to have all this stuff. This is just stuff that I use on a daily basis when we're welding and stuff. And remember, be kind to one another. Jesus loves you, so do we. God bless. We gone.